Hi, welcome to my Scoot Farm. Today we're making these cinnamon ornaments and let's get started. So to make these ornaments, we're going to start with 1.5 cups of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. Then you can add 2 tablespoons of ginger. Here's where you can kind of customize it to what kind of scents you like. You can also add cloves, or you can just do all cinnamon, and that's fine too. Okay. Give this a mix. Next we'll add 1 cup of applesauce. Then we start mixing. You can already tell you're going to smell really good. Going to mix until it comes together in one ball of dough. And what we'll do to help that happen, to help it come together, is add about a tablespoon of glue, up to like 3 or 4 tablespoons, depending on what's needed to get it to stay together. So now that it's starting to come together, I'm going to use my hands. And if the dough is still a little crumbly, you can add another squeeze of glue, which I think I will do here. In case you haven't picked up on this yet, this is something we're not going to eat. So I kept mixing, I added 1 more squeeze of glue, and it finally came into a ball. So then I put it on this wax paper, or you can use plastic wrap, and put 2 sheets, 1 above, 1 below, and start to flatten out your ball. And then we'll use a rolling pin. Also, at this point, you should have your oven preheating to about 200 degrees. The reason we use parchment paper or wax paper or plastic wrap is because it helps make a really smooth surface for the ornament. Otherwise, this dough, when it bakes, it can kind of give you a rough texture, which is okay too. So we'll roll it out to about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch thick. Okay, so we'll check. I think this thickness is good. Now we start cutting our shapes. Use a cookie cutter, or if you don't have cookie cutters, you can freehand with like a butter knife. Press down, whatever shapes you want. So one other thing that we have to do before we bake them is poke a hole for our ribbon so that we can hang these as ornaments. I'm using a drinking straw. If you don't have that around, you can be crafty and use, I don't know, the end of a knife or your scissors. Just make sure you're careful. Now we'll see how these look. So we have to carefully get these off of the wax paper. I'm going to take the scraps away and then gently peel the ornaments off. So the back side might be a little rough, and that's okay. This will be our front. We'll place it on a baking sheet. Okay, so these look awesome. We're going to get ready to put them in the oven now to dry. If you don't want to use the oven, you can also just let them sit out for a few days and they'll be ready for you. And it just speeds it up to do it in the oven. One thing I was going to do for a couple of them is to add some whole cloves just as a little decoration on one of them, and gives it another kind of smell element. And then when we do put them in the oven, we're going to go in for about 2.5 hours. These will also harden when they dry. So whatever you see here is how it's going to look. So if you wanted to smooth something out, something you can do is dip your finger in some water and then just kind of shape the ornament how you like. If there's like a little piece sticking out that you don't like, fix it now because you won't have a chance to after. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it's been 2.5 hours. We left it, since this oven runs really hot, I put it at 190 degrees, and then after an hour I went down to 170, which was the lowest. And it looks like these have hardened. I'm gonna let them cool just for a little bit and then we will finish. Okay, so now that they're a little cooled off, I can handle these easily, and they look really great. Now the last thing we're going to do is put some string through so that we can hang them as ornaments or decorations anywhere in your house. You can use string, twine, ribbon, you can use a pipe cleaner, because it's not that easy to get out to the store these days, but if you're willing to be a little creative, you can find a solution for just about anything, I think. So there's one ornament. We'll see what it looks like if we did a ribbon. So I cut it at an angle, and that way you have a point to kind of aim into our hole there. Like that. These will make great gifts, and they smell really good too. Here's another method we can try. Thread it through here, tie it in one knot, tie it again, and then tie these two together here. Like that. There we go. So I hope you enjoy these ornaments. They make great gifts. Have fun and happy holidays.